Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
And a resounding affirmation that people of goodwill, dedicated to the truth, mindful of their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, can come together to protect the innocent.
We continue to follow breaking news, a massive ruling in the Alex Jones defamation trial. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. A jury finding the conspiracy theorists liable for nearly $1 billion in damages to be repaid to those who were impacted by Jones's repeated lies that the 2012 tragedy at Sandy Hook never happened.
Family members emotional and grieving even after that verdict was delivered today. We have team coverage tonight for you.
Fox 61's Carmen Chow live in Waterbury tonight with more on what happened inside of the courtroom. Carmen.
Ben and Jed, this verdict was a huge moment for many families here tonight. And while each family received a different amount, you can see in their faces just what a big relief it was for all of them. Now, there was no sighting of Alex Jones himself. The few times that he was here, he did call it a show trial and kangaroo court. Each of the plaintiffs testified about the impact Jones' lies had on their families. Some say they received threatening letters and were confronted in public by people who believed the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax. Jones' defense attorney Norm Pattis argued free speech and said there was no proof of these letters or them being threatened in general. The jury has been very thorough throughout their deliberations, requesting a copy of the jury charge and to see a piece of evidence.
On a personal note, I would like to thank you all for your service and your dedication in serving on this jury, for taking time out of your busy lives. I hope that you found the experience a rewarding one, and I thank you for your service on behalf of the parties, the lawyer, and the court. You are hereby formally discharged from your service as jurors. Thank you again. We are adjourned.
Now, the $965 million covers compensatory damages, and there will be a hearing to discuss punitive damages, which references attorneys' fees and costs at a later date. And now I want to toss it over to my colleague, Fox 61's Tony Black, where he has more reaction from families. Tony.
Tony, can you hear us?
Yeah, Ben and Jen, nearly $1 billion to be distributed among the 15 people in this case. After weeks of testimony, that verdict came shortly after 3 o'clock today here at Waterbury Superior Court. And the first person we heard outside the courthouse today was Norm Pattis, who has been representing Alex Jones throughout this trial. He says that it's not a verdict that they expected, nor was the monetary value attached to that. He says of the more than 200 trials he has been a part of, he has never seen one like this, and he said they look forward to appealing this decision. He ended offering his condolences to the family. We then heard from family members themselves of those killed in the 2012 massacre. We heard from the daughter of Principal Dawn Lafferty Hochsprung, who said that this won't be the end of Jones in her life because the conspiracy theories and the hate will continue. She says she hopes this will save other families from this type of abuse. And we also heard from Bill Sherlock, who lost his wife Mary. He said he knew that this verdict would make a statement and says that actions do have consequences. Now, Robbie Parker also spoke, who lost his 6-year-old daughter Emily in the shooting. The father says that this gave him the strength to get his voice back. He says everyone on the stand told the truth except for Alex Jones. We also heard from the daughter of the principal who was killed in the shooting. Here's what she said.
This is a moment years in the making. And in this big moment, like in every big moment, since the shooting, I wish I could just call my mom and tell her about it. I would tell her about the horror of watching Alex Jones hold court with the press outside right here.
This jury has taken back, for all of us, something we've been hemorrhaging over the last decades, which is core decency and humanity.
And we heard from the attorneys representing the families of Sandy Hook victims. They say that this is a historic moment that holds Alex Jones accountable for the lies that he spread. They say if this shuts down Alex Jones, that is a good thing. They will now go through the proceedings for punitive damages, which would be in addition to the verdict announced today. Overall, they say that this is a historic moment for these families. Live in Waterbury, Tony Black, Fox 61 News.
Powerful, powerful moments outside of court today. Tony, thank you. And just a short time ago, we got a statement actually from Governor Ned Lamont, and I think we were about to read it, but it looks like we aren't anymore. Okay, right. We're going to skip that. We'll have more on that in a little bit.
All right, stay with Fox 61 for continuing coverage of this breaking news in the wake of the Alex Jones trial. We have much more on fox61.com and on the Fox 61 News app as well. Let's get to a weather alert we're following here in Connecticut, tracking rain heading our way.
A lot of it. Grab the umbrellas and rain jackets. You're going to want to keep them handy. Meteorologist Ryan Brenton is in for Rachel tonight with a first check of your forecast. Ryan.
Hi, Jen and Ben. Hi, everybody. We'll have showers during the day tomorrow that will turn into a heavier rain around this time tomorrow night, continuing through much of the night. And the potential is there for 1 to 2 inches of rain, even some higher amounts than that in a few locations. And we'll have a gusty southeast wind. So this may cause some street flooding overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. Some of you with basement issues may have to pay attention to that as well. The good news is we only expect isolated, if any, power outages. As long as those winds stay under 45 miles per hour in gusts, any outages will be fairly limited. You can see all the rain coming together. In fact, maybe you're wondering about the game in Atlanta, which was scheduled to be on Fox right now. It's been pouring there, and that's part of the system that's going to be heading our way for tomorrow. You can see the clouds coming in out ahead of it, but no rain anywhere near us at the moment. So for the rest of the night, we'll be quiet. It'll be a milder night with low temperatures in the 50s. By tomorrow morning, an isolated shower. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy sky through tomorrow morning. Starts to get breezy in the afternoon with some scattered showers and downpours. But what we're really waiting on is this band of heavier rain. This comes through overnight tomorrow night into the early hours of Friday morning. Could be some thunderstorms within this rain too, and a gusty wind, which is why we have the weather watch alert in place. You can see the rain chances tomorrow go up as the day goes along. Low chances for rain in the morning, a moderate afternoon, and then high tomorrow night. I'll be back to talk a lot more about this and a better weekend coming up.
Ryan, thank you. In other news, state police confirmed today that a Tuesday night call to an apartment building in Bolton was for a deadly stabbing.
But they still haven't said what they believe sparked this deadly encounter between those residents. Fox 61's Tony Terzi has more from the apartment building with the name of the victim that was just released a short time ago by police. Tony.
This apartment building here on Bolton Lake has had its issues through the years, but what happened here yesterday is believed to be the first homicide in town in over 50 years. State police were called to this apartment building at 890 Boston Turnpike in Bolton about 8 o'clock Tuesday night.
And it was just a tragic situation that has disrupted the peace and quiet of a small town.
39-year-old Travis Terry, the victim, lived in the apartment with the American flag in the window and was with a neighbor earlier in the day.
And a few hours later, he's dead. You know, it's a shock. I didn't sleep after the police left.
Police have not yet named a suspect, but residents say it was another tenant of this apartment building that killed Terry.
I came out this morning and they had they had these little yellow triangle things. I guess that's for
evidence markers,
blood splatter or whatever. So I don't know where it happened.
He said in the morning he hung out with the two men involved in the stabbing and didn't notice any friction. Longtime Bolton business owners are distressed. You know some of the tenants.
Of course, yeah. The tenants come here. The customers of ours. They're wonderful people.
The owner of a century-old lawn and garden equipment business was the fire chief for over 3 decades.
We get our auto accidents because we have the major highways going through town. But for something like this, it's a rarity.
But, you know, you can't escape it anywhere these days. It just gets in.
State police say that they have not made an arrest yet, and if you know anything about this incident, you are asked to reach out, and your name will remain confidential. In Bolton, Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.
Tony, thank you. A family in Manchester is recovering after a man attempted to break into their home. That same man later got into a standoff with police, stabbed himself, and he's now in the hospital.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc spoke with the homeowner, and she shows us exclusive video from yet another encounter with the same suspect last night.
A terrifying moment for a Manchester mom.
We were scared all night. Like, I slept with my 3 kids in my room.
Whitney Stewart was resting after her shift as a nurse on Tuesday night when her kids started panicking.
They seen him, I didn't. They were like insisting, "Ma, there's a man in the yard, there's a man in the yard."
Stewart says the man first came here to the side door, tried to wiggle the handle and get in. Then he came all the way here to the front door and did a similar situation looking inside. The whole thing caught on that Ring camera.
And granted, this is a door that's usually unlocked. It was scary because it's like, what if he got in my house?
Right after this, in an exclusive video shared with Fox 61, the same man visited a local liquor store, pulling a knife on the owner.
I thought that he took something. That's why I followed him. See, there you go. I followed him, and then he showed me the knife over there.
Minutes later, after seeing the Ring video from Stewart's home, police caught up with the man in this CVS parking lot, now identified as 48-year-old Michael Cunningham. Police say Cunningham fell as he tried to run from them. When he was down, police say he took out a large knife, stabbed himself multiple times, and ran down the road. Eventually, he was caught, tased, and taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
Yeah, he's caught, but still.
Now, Stewart is left trying to comfort her kids.
But I just want my kids to feel like the house is safe, nobody's coming in, he didn't get in, we're safe, the cops came fast, like, we're okay. But again, you're telling that to a 15, 10, and a 5-year-old.
A family forever impacted, one that will now forever lock their doors. In Manchester, Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
Julia